story begins with a lonely little girl trapped inside a terrifying castle. She desperately wants to make friends, but everyone who sees her runs away in fear. A dark shadow constantly follows her, whispering that she is different and that she will always be alone. One day, while everyone is avoiding her, she sees a boy drowning in a lake. Without thinking twice, she jumps in and saves him. From that day forward, the boy begins following her everywhere. For the first time in her life, the dark shadow starts disappearing. But just when she believes someone might finally stay by her side, the boy sees her kill a butterfly and becomes terrified. He runs away from her. The dark shadow returns to her ear and whispers the cruelest truth of all: she will always be alone. Years later, that lonely girl has grown into Moon Young, a famous children's book author. She is beautiful, wealthy, talented, and completely different from ordinary people. She is cold, aggressive, and never allows anyone to tell her what to do. Meanwhile, we meet Moon Gang Tae, a hardworking caregiver at a psychiatric hospital. His entire life revolves around his older brother Song Tae, who has autism and suffers from severe seizures. Gong Tae has sacrificed everything for him. He changes jobs constantly, moves from city to city, and never allows himself to build a normal life because he is terrified of one thing: his brother's fear of butterflies. One day, Moon Young visits Gang Tae's hospital to read one of her stories to the patients. But during the event, one patient suddenly becomes violent. He attacks his own daughter and then grabs Moon Young by the throat. The moment he touches her neck, Moon Young remembers her own childhood trauma. She sees her father choking her in the same way. Gang Tae rushes to save her, but Moon Young completely loses control and tries to attack the patient. Gang Tae is injured while stopping her. After the incident, Moon Young's reputation becomes even worse. But she doesn't care. There is only one person she is interested in: Gang Tae. When she looks into his eyes, she suddenly remembers something from her childhood. She realizes that Gang Tae is the same boy she once saved from drowning. Gang Tae, however, has no idea who she really is. Moon Young becomes determined to make him remember her. She follows him everywhere and openly tells him that she wants him. Gang Tae tries to stay away from her, but Moon Young refuses to give up. Soon, Gang Tae receives an opportunity to work at a psychiatric hospital in his old hometown. This is the same place where he and Song Tae spent their childhood. But returning there means facing the painful memories they have spent years running away from. When Gang Tae was a child, he witnessed his mother being murdered. Song Tae saw the killer too, but ever since that night, he has believed that butterflies were responsible for his mother's death. Whenever spring arrives and butterflies appear, Song Tae becomes terrified. That is why Gang Tae has spent his entire life running away. But now, Moon Young follows him to the same town. She even moves into a terrifying mansion in the forest, the same kind of dark place that appears in her childhood stories. Although Gang Tae wants her to leave, Moon Young has already made up her mind. She tells him that she will kidnap him because he is starving for love. At first, Gang Tae thinks she is simply selfish and dangerous. But slowly, he begins to realize that behind Moon Young's cruel personality is a deeply wounded woman who has spent her entire life believing that nobody could ever love her. Moon Young also begins working at Gang Tae's hospital. The patients are frightened by her strange personality, but her stories strangely connect with them. Even though she appears cold, she understands pain better than most people. One rainy night, Moon Young's father suddenly attacks her and calls her a witch. Gang Tae finds her walking alone in the rain, completely broken. He puts his jacket around her and takes her home. Moon Young refuses to leave. The next morning, Gang Tae's childhood friend Ju Ri sees Moon Young inside the house and immediately becomes jealous. Ju Ri has loved Gang Tae since childhood, but Gang Tae has never allowed himself to return her feelings. Moon Young, however, is not interested in sharing him. The rivalry between the two women becomes so intense that they even start fighting like children. As time passes, Moon Young and Gong Tae become closer. Song Tae also begins working with Moon Young as an artist for her books. This forces the three of them to spend more time together. For the first time, Gong Tae begins to feel like he has a real family. But then, Moon Young reveals something shocking. She tells Gang Tae that she already knows who he is. She knows he was the boy she saved from drowning years ago. Gang Tae is shocked. He suddenly realizes that the strange girl from his childhood, the girl who once saved his life, is standing in front of him again. But instead of staying with her, Gang Tae tries to run away. Moon Young is heartbroken. She has spent her entire life believing that everyone eventually leaves her. Now the one person she loves is doing exactly the same thing. But this time, Gong Tae cannot run forever. He returns to her. Slowly, the three of them begin healing each other's wounds. Song Tae starts feeling safe. Gong Tae finally begins thinking about his own happiness. And Moon Young slowly learns that love does not always mean possession. However, the darkest secret from their past is still waiting to be revealed. Gang Tae discovers an old photograph of Moon Young's mother. The woman is wearing a distinctive butterfly brooch. The same butterfly brooch was worn by the woman Sang Tae saw on the night their mother was murdered. Gang Tae is horrified. The killer of his mother may have been Moon Young's mother. At the same time, Moon Young's father is dying. Before his death, he reveals that Moon Young's mother was responsible for killing an innocent woman. Moon Young is devastated when she learns the truth. She realizes that the woman responsible for destroying Gang Tae and Song Tae's childhood was her own mother. She locks herself inside her house and begins crying uncontrollably. She repeatedly apologizes, even though she had nothing to do with her mother's crimes. Gang Tae tells her that she is not responsible for the sins of the woman who gave birth to her. But Moon Young cannot forgive herself. Then the truth becomes even darker. The head nurse Park, who has been working at the hospital, is actually Moon Young's mother. She survived and changed her appearance through plastic surgery. For years, she has secretly been manipulating Moon Young's life. She is the one who destroyed Moon Young's childhood. She is the one who made her believe that she was a monster. And she is the one who murdered Gong Tae and Song Tae's mother. Her goal is to turn Moon Young into the same cruel person she is. Eventually, Park kidnaps Song Tae and takes him to Moon Young's abandoned house. She wants to force Moon Young to confront her past. When Moon Young arrives, Park begins attacking her and tells her that she has spent years creating a monster. But this time, Moon Young refuses to become the person her mother wanted her to be. She fights back. Gang Tae arrives to protect her, and Sang Tae also finds the courage to stand up for both of them. Finally, the police arrest Park. The woman who destroyed their lives is finally stopped. After everything is over, Moon Young tells Gang Tae and Sang Tae to leave her. She believes they deserve a normal life without her painful past. But Gang Tae refuses. He tells her that they are already a family. Moon Young has spent her entire life believing that people will eventually abandon her. But now, for the first time, she finally understands that some people choose to stay. Eventually, Moon Young and Gang Tae begin a relationship, while Song Tae continues working as an artist. Together, Moon Young and Song Tae complete a new children's book based on their own lives. The book becomes a huge success. Song Tae finally overcomes his fear of butterflies. The symbol that once represented the worst moment of his life no longer controls him. Gong Tae also realizes that he no longer has to sacrifice his entire life for his brother. Song Tae tells him that he is finally free to live for himself. The two brothers become emotional because Gong Tae has spent his entire life protecting Song Tae, while Song Tae has always believed that he was holding his brother back. But in the end, they understand the truth. They were never a burden to each other. They were the reason they survived. Moon Young, Gong Tae, and Song Tae then leave together on a road trip in their new van. They laugh, argue, and enjoy the simple moments they once believed they could never have. And that is how this beautiful story ends. A girl who believed she was a monster finally discovers that she is capable of love. A man who spent his entire life running away finally learns to live for himself. And a brother who was once terrified of butterflies finally faces his greatest fear. Because sometimes, healing does not mean forgetting the pain. Sometimes, healing means finding people who stay with you while you face it. And that is the true message of It's Okay to Not Be Okay, that being wounded does not make you broken. And sometimes, the people who need healing the most can become the ones who save each other. If you enjoyed this emotional and beautiful story, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing movie and drama explanations.